So what is going on right now with Katie Lou Samuelson? It's a question that seems to be, making the rounds amongst the WNBA Twitter sphere. So we got to talk about that. Like, Katie Lou is clearly one of the worst contracts in the W. Clearly the worst contract in the W. And it's looking likely Katie Lou's going to be traded. If you guys agree Katie Lou should be traded, subscribe. We are literally 26 away. 26 subscribers away from 43.1k. That is the goal by the end of the day. But we got to look at it like this. Katie Lou Samuelson is a member of the Fever. The Fever obviously have too much in salary cap space. And there is literally one thing the Fever can do. There are two things, sorry. The Fever currently have 12 players. They're over the salary cap. They cut Jalen Brown. If the Fever want to have 12 players, they can do one of two things. They either need to cut DeWanna Bonner or trade Katie Lou Samuelson. There's no other way. It's now at the stage, because Sydney Colson's making 90k, they can't even cut Caitlin Clark. Obviously, Caitlin Clark doesn't have guaranteed money. Aaliyah Boston doesn't have guaranteed money. If she was making 70k, they could have cut Caitlin Clark or Aaliyah Boston. Obviously, they're not doing that. I'm just talking about the literals, like how they could literally do it. But Sophie Cunningham's on guaranteed money. Lexi Hull's on guaranteed money. And also, they can't trade Lexi Hull because she is not making enough money. They can't trade Damaris Dantas because she's not making enough money. They literally have to either cut DeWanna Bonner, which they're not going to do, or trade Katie Lou. Otherwise, they're going into the season with 11 players. And then today, Katie Lou Samuelson, if you guys click into Katie Lou Samuelson's Instagram, doesn't exist. Katie Lou Samuelson has deleted her Instagram, and a lot of people are obviously talking about it. So, a lot of people thinking that she's cut, calling out people that she's cut. And, I mean, apparently this guy is just talking shit about me. I couldn't care less. I don't think she's cut, but you know what? Can't say anything about clickbait. This is me we're talking about. But obviously, look, Katie Lou Samuelson was so freaking good at UConn. Like, I remember watching her in 2018. Like, she was so good. And she's been all right and Unrivaled. And obviously, she was pretty good. Pretty good yesterday's game. And a lot of people are talking about what I've been making videos on. Like, this is very recent. Talking about Katie Lou. And Katie Lou's actually been playing okay in Unrivaled. She hasn't been brilliant, but she's been okay. She's actually shooting the ball a little bit. Her jump shot's starting to look like it did when she was at UConn. And I still do think the cap space is probably going to be eaten up by the Valkyries. If they have the cap space, just make that little bit of money. Looking at Katie Lou career stats, not sure how she's signed to the current contract for Fever. Lynn Dunn has committed basketball terrorism, let's be real. But, like, obviously, everybody's going mad about what people say to make Katie Lou deactivate. And then people are starting to, people are making stuff up. Like, this is crazy. Whatever better maybe getting traded. Like, this is crazy. Because, again, it might be true. Nobody knows. And I mean that. Nobody knows. Look, if you're deleting your Instagram, I don't know why, you might just feel like, you know what, I'm not arsed. I'm not bothered with this. And maybe if you're Katie Lou Samuelson, look, you probably don't want to see some of the stuff. And that's just a fact of being an athlete. Like, if you are an athlete on a bad contract, like, you don't want to read and see some of the stuff being said because, look, no one's questioning Katie Lou as a person. She just had a bad season. She had a bad season. She's on a horrible contract, and her contract is stopping her team from fielding 12 players. So clearly, her team, who has the most fans, will be talking about that. So maybe, like, likelihood is there's nothing going on. And she might have just wanted to delete the Instagram because she's getting in better shape. No question about that. Katie Lou is getting in better shape. She's playing better in Unrivaled. Look, she is, as much as Katie Lou's not playing that well in Unrivaled, she's been better than anyone thought. We can stand by that. She's been better than most people thought she was going to be. So she hasn't been horrifically awful in Unrivaled. Hasn't been good, but, like, based on how poor Katie Lou Samuelson have been. Look, in my opinion, Katie Lou has been better than, she's been probably the worst of the original 35, but I do think she's been better than a lot of the, for lack of better words, like, emergency players. I think she's been better than Heidemann. I think she was, obviously, when the game Nalissa Smith played, dear Lord, like, Nalissa Smith, even when healthy, was getting DNPs in Unrivaled. And she got the first ever DNP. But, Yeah, for Katie Lou, like, I don't think there's any point speculating on this. And I think Katie Lou's going to get traded. I don't think that's why she'd lead her Instagram. I really don't think it is. Like, I expect to see a Katie Lou Samuelson trade in the next couple of days. I think I would be extremely shocked to not see Katie Lou traded. Like, I think that she's almost certainly in that, like, category to be traded, purely because unless they cut DeWanna Bonner, they go out with 11 players next year. Like, it is an impossibility salary cap wise to fill out a roster without cutting DeWanna Bonner or trading Katie Lou. They can't, and there's no way the Fever would have miscalculated things. Now, obviously, Amber Cox doing really well, Kelly Krauskopf doing really well. There's no way they would have miscalculated things badly enough to make it so that they have 11 players or have to cut DeWanna Bonner. Look, I think Katie Lou's going to be traded. I think they're trying to find the right... Maybe they're trying to find some of the right pieces. Maybe they're going to try to get into a 3-team trade. Like, if you are somebody like the Sun, do you eat that contract? Because, like, the Sun can't, unfortunately, get off Maria Mabry. Maybe if you're the Sun, you look to getting yourself. I know people hate when I bring her up. But, like, other teams, this is what other teams should realistically ask for. If you're going to eat the Katie Lou contract, you're taking either a 2026 first or Lexi Hull. And the problem is that with Lexi Hull, if you give up Lexi Hull, you are losing a player who's going to make more of an impact right now, but you're going to have to pay Lexi Hull next year with the Fever. If you have Fever, and you might be able to afford to pay Lexi Hull. So if you go and make that trade and keep your draft pick next year, you can get 2 people on 1-year deals and keep your draft pick next year for contract flexibility. So not that it makes sense, but it's a conversation to have. It's a thought process whether or not, realistically, to get off Katie Lou, it's either going to be the Sun or the Valkyries. And to get off her, and with the way their contract situation is, you have to do one of 2 things. You either have to trade Lexi Hull, attach Lexi Hull to her, or you have to attach a first-round pick to her. Because if this was as easy as attaching a second, or even 2 seconds, even your 2 picks in this year's draft, if it was that easy, it would be done. This would already have been done. So I don't know if the Instagram deletion has anything to do with things, but I do think we see Katie Lou Samuelson traded very, very soon. And I do think that it's, for the people saying that's like it's about divorce, about things in their personal life, first of all, if it's not, I think it's dangerous to be spreading those rumors unless you know for a fact. And even if it is, then if that is the case, then it's just not something that should really be shared and is that relevant. Keep things basketball. And the unfortunate truth about being a pro basketball player, especially when you're on a team of fans, is sometimes you're underperforming, people are going to talk about it. So I don't think there's any issue. There shouldn't be any issue with anyone talking about Katie Lou, the player, but obviously, if this is a personal thing, then that's it there and then. Just ignore it. Hope Katie Lou's okay. And either way, look, I wouldn't be that opposed to keeping Katie Lou if it meant the team could field 12 players. I'm being completely honest. If the team gave Coulson a minimum and they gave Bonner 180k and they had that minimum contract and could field 12 players, I wouldn't even be that pushed for trading Katie Lou, but the team only has 11 players.